What up? What up? Happy Friday to you, and welcome to the Faith Unbuttoned podcast. I'm your host, Pastor K, and as you know, we are an extension of Never Alone Christian Center, a virtual ministry based out of Baltimore, Maryland, that my wife and I, Miss Chiffon Wiley, launched this summer of 2021. And we're always so grateful for your continued support, not only of the Faith Unbuttoned podcast, but also Never Alone Christian Center. Be sure to check us out on our website at neveralonecc.org. Visit our platforms on Instagram as well as Facebook and YouTube. And we're now on TikTok. So check those out when you get an opportunity. And if you like, please follow and subscribe so that you may stay connected to us and all the things that are taking place. All right, now that the business is out of the way, what's up, guys? You know, I'm always excited about Friday. One, it's the beginning of the weekend for myself at least. And also, this is football season. I'm always excited about what's happening, not only on the college arena, but as well as the NFL. And this week, the Ravens, as you see, we have a bye week, but everything has been going well. We took a tough loss this past week, but you know what? We're back on track and we'll be ready to rock and roll next week. I certainly hope that you guys have had a good week, and if you're in the DMV area, we are dealing with some severe weather, so definitely be careful if you're in the area, and it's supposed to be some rain throughout the course of the weekend, so be careful and be safe. And remember, guys, we still are dealing with the COVID-19 virus and many other viruses. Protect yourself, use wisdom, take your vitamins, and do whatever you need to do to stay protected and to stay well. And keep in mind that not only myself, but the NAC family, we're always praying for you guys and praying for protection over all of us, that we'll continue to be safe and do what it is that we have to do to maintain here in this world. Okay, without further ado, tonight we're going to hop right into our topic. The last 2 weeks we began a subject matter on relationship accountability. And I'm not going to go back through all the material that I covered the previous two podcasts. Make sure you check those out on our YouTube channel. Click the link in the bio. It'll take you right there to the playlist. And also you can stream it on Anchor FM as well as Spotify. Anywhere else you get your podcast, you can stream this particular podcast. But in those previous two podcasts, we began part one and part two, if you will, of relationship accountability. And I was saying that this particular topic stemmed from a interview that I was watching when a young man was stating that he felt as if women should give men credit for being faithful in their relationship. And I took offense to that, because I don't think that men need to be given credit or women for being faithful and having accountability. I think it's up to us as individuals to be accountable in our relationship, because that's what we desire to do. Okay. Now, in part one and part two, we went over some basic things of a basic relationship structure, and we went over a laundry list of reasons why men or even women sometimes have cheating or cheating-like behavior. And we left off last week with our number 7. There were 7 different reasons that we looked at throughout that particular part 1 and part 2 of the podcast. So you got to go back and stream those so that you'll be caught up where we are today. Because today I want to jump into how we can increase the relationship accountability. Because we looked at 7 various reasons on why there's issues with relationship accountability and why these things take place in the relationship. So tonight, I want to look at how can we increase or how can we shift and change the relationship accountability. Just for a point of reference, part 2 of this particular podcast, we left off last week with number 7, which was unrealistic expectations. And a lot of times in relationships, we have unrealistic expectations, and we think that our partner or our spouse are supposed to be able to fulfill everything we desire 24/7, regardless of how she feels or how he may feel. And we said that is just an unrealistic expectation. And that's where we left off last week for a point of reference. If you're streaming the particular podcast, part 1 and part 2 of relationship accountability. So tonight, let's jump right into it. Okay? So we're going to talk about tonight how to increase the accountability in the relationship, how to increase relationship accountability. Okay, and this is part number 3 of this particular topic. Okay, now don't forget, if you have questions, if you guys have concerns, or you just want to tap in and say what's up, drop us a DM either on my IG or on the NAC IG, or hit us on Facebook in the Messenger, or you can hit us on our email from our website. There are many outlets that you can reach out to us. You can even text us with our phone number listed on the website. So if you need to reach out or you have questions or concern about this particular topic or anything relevant to what we have been talking about in the Faith Unbuttoned podcast, don't be afraid. We do not bite, okay? All right, so how to increase relationship accountability. Now, tonight, those who've been following the ministry and following the podcast, you guys know that I like to have open discussion, especially on the podcast, because I feel like this is an opportunity where I can speak and be free. But with that said, everything I do has a lesson in it, because I want us to learn and I want us to grow. There are plenty of podcasts out there, if you will, that they're just going to fluff it up for you and filter through whatever you may be looking for, okay? But my heart's desire with the Faith Unbuttoned podcast is to be 100% transparent with the faith and to be relevant so we can grow and we can develop, but we can do it in a relaxed and a chill type setting with the Faith Unbuttoned podcast, okay? So tonight we're going to look at 3 different things. 3 simple different things, okay, when it comes to how to increase relationship accountability. And keep in mind, good people, that these are, many of these are my opinion, okay, based upon what I believe, how the scripture would lead us, and just some sound advice that I have experienced through personal relationship with my wife, okay, to increase relationship accountability. The first thing that we have to do, or that we should do, is there has to be a level of appreciation for the relationship. There has to be a level of appreciation for the relationship or the marriage, okay? Do we appreciate our spouse? Do you appreciate your husband? Do you appreciate your wife? Do you value them? Do you value not only their desires, do you value their emotions? Do you value their career path, their academic path? Do we have a high value system for our spouse? And do we have appreciation? If we want relationship accountability, we want our husband, we want our wife, or the path that you're traveling, we want our relationship to grow and develop, there has to be a level of appreciation and a high level of appreciation. Do we appreciate our relationship? What type of value system do you have in your relationship? If you had to put a scale in your relationship between 1 and 10, 1 being you wish you were not in the relationship, and 10 being this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, where do you value your relationship? Where do you value your marriage? Now, be realistic. Everybody may not be at a 10, okay? But I certainly hope that you're not at a 1, because a 1 may be or could be considered toxic, because basically you're in a relationship that you don't want to be in. That could be considered toxic, and it may be putting off that energy of a toxic relationship. Okay? Are we looking over the fence for greener grass, which could be crawling with mold? We just don't know. Is there appreciation in your relationship? To increase the accountability in our relationship, we have to have an appreciation for it. You may say, well, Pastor K, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm about on a 5 when it comes to my marriage and my relationship. 5 meaning I'm feeling about average, that I'm glad I'm in this relationship or I'm glad I'm in this marriage. But how can I push my sliding scale up more toward the 10 dial, if you will, so that I can value, have a greater responsibility or greater accountability, a greater appreciation? Well, this is where we're going to have to come into putting in some effort. I always say that any relationship, any marriage is work. it is work. You have to put in the time. You have to put in some work. You have to desire to develop the relationship. You have to desire to make it grow. You have to desire to put in the love. It's more than what we just say. We have to put in some time. You have to do things beyond that what you may have normally done if you want to grow the appreciation of the relationship. Okay. Now, this is a two-way street. Now, ladies, it's going to be hard for you to get your man to appreciate the relationship and push the relationship forward if all we're doing is dragging him down. And men, it's going to be hard for your wife or your girl to appreciate the relationship if all we do is complain and complain, or we constantly on our phone or constantly scrolling this or in this DM box or doing this message or TikToking this or whatever. And I have no affiliation with any of these particular companies. I'm just tossing that out there because our social media atmosphere has drained many relationships. Relationship accountability increases when we begin to value and appreciate the relationship. She's your girl, bro. Start appreciating her. Flowers, candy, date night, whatever it is that brings her joy and brings her a smile. Foot massage, a spa day, a hot bubble bath, whatever. It ain't always about paper. Sometimes you can invest in her with your time. Invest in her with your words of encouragement. Everybody don't have a bankroll where you can roll out all these outlandish type accolades before them. Be realistic, but you have to start investing in some stuff that you may be able to do at home if you don't have your cheddar up where you need it to be at. Appreciation. We have to start appreciating our relationship, appreciating our wife and our husband. The same way you looked at them at the altar, I hope, should be the same sparkle you have in your eye now. I love my wife the same now as I did 10, 15 years ago. It may have actually increased because she's carried me and helped me so much as we've grown in our relationship. Okay? Accountability. How do we increase the accountability in our relationship? Appreciation. What else do we have to do? Okay, let's look at this. Ladies, fellas, we have to prioritize our relationship. It has to be a priority. We have to have a value of it. We have to appreciate it. And the way we appreciate a relationship is we make it a priority. The relationship must be a priority in our day-to-day life. It's the life of the home. If you're married in your home, the cultivation of the relationship is the life of the home. The love that permeates from the wife and from the husband is the life and the blood of the home. We have to make it a priority. Ladies, are you his priority? Fellas, are you her priority? If we are not, we have to ask ourselves the question, why am I not your priority? Why is she not your priority, fellas? Why is he not your priority, lady? What is taking place in the relationship where you feel like your spouse, your girl, your boy, whatever, is not the priority of your focus in your relationship? We love him, I hope. Don't you love him? You care for him? You desire to grow with him or grow with her, whatever the case may be. So why aren't they a priority? If my wife calls me, I don't care who I'm on the phone with. Hold on, that's my wife. I'm going to hit you right back. If she texts me, boop, 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 I'm going to hit her right back. Why? Because she is my priority. Nothing is going to come before her. Whatever I am doing, I drop it for her. And you should be doing the same thing, in my humble opinion, if this is your wife. And ladies, my wife, if I call her, she's gonna pick up. If I text her, she's gonna pick up. Whatever, she's gonna make sure that I'm able to connect when I need to connect. This creates relationship accountability. If you're looking for magic, some trick, some 10 tricks to make it better, just stop. There's no tricks to this. To this relationship thing, to this marriage. There's no tricks. There's no game. There's no, listen, all that is fantasy talk. All that is reality TV. Listen, Relationships grow when we have appreciation for it and we make it a priority. We develop what we value. It's simple. We develop what we value. When we value our relationship and it's a priority, we will pour into that relationship. We'll pour our emotions into it. We'll pour our heart into it. We'll pour our wisdom into it. We'll pour our knowledge into it. We'll pour our experiences into it. We will pour into that relationship. If we want accountability, if we make it a priority, because if we value it and we want to develop it, we will pour into the relationship. But when you don't think the relationship or the marriage is a priority, you'll give 50%. You'll give 50% of your time, 50% of your communication, 50% of your obligation towards the bills or whatever the case may be, 50% to your sex life, 50% to dating. You're going to give the percentage that you value your relationship. And women know when you value them. They know when you appreciate them. They know when they are your priority. They may not say anything. They may not do anything, but they know. And ladies, men need to be valued as well. He has to be your priority. You say, well, listen, I'm not his priority, so I'm not making her my priority. Well, then listen, y'all got drama. Drama will destroy a relationship. It will destroy a marriage. Tick for tat. He ain't doing this. Well, I ain't doing that. He ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. That's not accountability. That's not appreciation. That's not making her or him a priority. That's bailing out on the commitment that you guys have decided to bond together. You know. We develop what we value, and when we invest for a return. You invest in stocks. You invest in crypto, which is big right now. You invest in your career. You invest in your academics. Why do we do this? Not to throw money away. We invest for a return. To increase the relationship accountability, we invest into our wives, invest into our husband for a return of love, a return of joy, a return of children, a return of growth and development, a return of someone to be our partner, a return of someone who's going to be a shoulder for us, a return for emotional support, a return for a love and passion. Whatever the case is, we are investing into the relationship. We're creating a high value system on relationship accountability for a return. You propose, you get engaged, you get married for a return. But in order to get that return, you have to invest. I can't expect a return from my wife if I don't invest in her, and she can't expect a return from me unless she invests in me. Well, he just lazy. She just lazy. What have you invested in her as your wife? What have you invested in her as your husband? What have you invested, and what type of return were you expecting to receive? Did you marry into a 2, 3, 5 relationship category and you expect to get a 10 return overnight? That's not how it works. And I think a lot of people jump into these relationships and they get in relationships and they go in on a scale of 1 to 10. They go in around 5 or 6 and they're looking for a 10 or 100% return in 6 months. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. That's our number 7 from last week. Unrealistic expectations cause us to struggle with relationship accountability because we go in with unrealistic expectations. Okay? How to increase the relationship accountability. We have to have appreciation. We have to make the relationship a priority. And our number 3, we'll touch on it and we'll pick it up again next week. Number 3, we have to, listen to me, we have to have more action and less lip service. Pause. More action and less lip service. Pause. Relationship accountability goes beyond what we say, but it's a demonstration of our actions toward the one whom, nice God word there, whom we love. As a family, my wife and I, and the kids, and the dog, Coco. As a family unit, there are things we do on a weekly basis. Grocery shopping, yard work, laundry, clean the house, etc. These are weekly things that take place in the Wiley household. So what do we do weekly or even daily to increase our relationship? This is my final thought here. What do we do weekly or even daily to increase the accountability in our relationship? We all have a routine or rudimental things that we do on a day-to-day basis in the home. But my final thought is I want to leave you with this question. What do we do weekly or even daily to increase the accountability in our relationship? Think about that. Excuse me. We're going to jump back into this next week. Relationship accountability. I want to take my time on this particular podcast because I think that it's important that we have accountability in our relationship and that we grow our accountability. Not only through what we said tonight with appreciation, making it a priority, more action and less lip service, pause. We want to know how valuable it is to have accountability. When your wife, when your husband know that you have strong relationship accountability, the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. I love you guys. Be safe tonight if you're in this area in the DMV, Maryland, Virginia, District of Columbia area. We had this storm come through, so be careful and don't forget to join us for our Sunday service. We'll be streaming on all our platforms. You can visit the website at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe, and I will check up with you guys this Sunday. Let's go.